It's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
And boom, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back, goddammit, to another edition of Tell Me a Joke, the guideline of chasing the dream. I'm your host, Maniacal, Menace, Smith. Say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. Oh, and today, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. All right, today I have two anthropologists and also an archaeologist on my side today. And I'm talking about dream chasing. This is like the ultimate chase of the dreams. So put y'all hands together. Jasmine, right?
Zenzi.
Damn it. I should have started with this over here first. I should have started with
myeshia and zenzi.
myeshia and zenzi. Put y'all hands together. Bang. There it is. There's claps on the other side of this.
Round of applause.
That's claps. All right. Boom. Okay. And we have already been deep into the tale, the stories of that y'all have, because first off, I've been knowing Myeshia for quite some time now. Swore she was a comic, never knew what she did at all. She was just always around famous people, and I'm like, what do you do and why are you so mysterious? And she's like, I don't know, I ain't never been on stage, nothing like that. And so now I finally find out anthropology, and I'm like, how? So still. So Zenzi has an amazing story of everything that you're doing for your community. Just from what I've heard from when you were gone, from what myeshia was telling me, like the courage and the strength that you have to do what you're doing. I just really want you to we'll get into it, but I appreciate it. Basically.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, who wants to go first? What got y'all into anthropology? What got you into archaeology? What got you into this?
Oh, I told this story before, and Dr. Fisher was like, "This is the most anthropological story ever." So I'm a veteran, and I grew up in the ghetto, so I never knew any archaeologists like most black people.
Ghetto from where? What?
You know the rapper Mozzie?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mozzie's from Oak Park, and I know him as Timothy.
Yeah, hi, Timothy.
What's up, Lil Tim? Yeah, so I'm an Oak Park kid. Was going to Sac City College, just using my GI Bill, and figured what can I take next, because they pay me for classes, right? And they were like, girl, you took all the classes, you gotta find something else that you haven't taken yet. And sometimes when I was bored, I would hang out with this white lady that she had hit me on Facebook, oh, we got a mutual friend, the ganja goddess, because this was before marijuana was legalized.
That's a fun mutual friend right there.
Right? She was doing these retreats for women where you would come and you get high and do yoga. So
sounds like a great excuse.
It's very anthropological. And this lady was an archaeologist, right? And she's like a pagan belly dancer, different.
That's the most anthropological story.
Oh,
very much, right?
What that did to my brain right now, I wish I could scratch it, just because there's so much happening. Please continue. Oh my God.
There was. And me just being a type of person where I'm like, I like different people. These people are weird. They're interesting.
Yes.
The anthro weirdos. We tend to be very, little out there.
We out there.
And she would take students from City College on field trips, the student body that is in her archaeology club. So I would tag along in these archaeology field trips, even though I wasn't even a student. I was just like, this sounds like a good idea. I'll see y'all there, just hang it out. Right. And so I actually had thought I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to do Photography. Like I always like Nat Geo. Like I could take some pictures or something.
can do that.
Yeah. So I went and they looked at it and they're like, it's only like 2 classes for photography that you're gonna be able to take, and they're not gonna pay you for it. So you should choose something else. And I was like, oh well, anthropology. I haven't taken none of those classes yet.
Crazy.
And I already had like all the classes completed for like an AA in social science and interdisciplinary studies, social and behavioral sciences. So by the time I finished my AA and anthro, I like transferred to 3 degrees.
You had fun in school.
I did. I was like, I'm you're taking psych of human sexuality and all sorts of stuff. Like
Collecting degrees like Pokemon.
Holy shit,
Right.
that's a fun time.
So yeah, and then, like I said, I was getting paid for it. That was the main thing. Was like
Yeah.
because I had came home from Afghanistan, was like working for the state of California, state headquarters DMV, and I was like, why am I doing this if the VA will pay me to go to school and I can actually make more money going to school? Like this doesn't make any sense.
Like,
Let me go to school and learn some stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what actually brought me to the archaeology. I was like, okay, let me take these classes. And within anthropology, I started to look at like Taino potsherds and stuff, because that wasn't something that I thought would have been interesting.
Yeah.
As like I said, someone that grew up in the hood, like
Right.
I was like, let me read these archaeological papers and see if I find something. And they actually were interesting to me as, a Jamaican American. So I was like, okay, but I feel like there's ways that we can make this more accessible, like the way that we use language and talk about things sometimes. Can be at like such a high academic level. And I think as somebody, like I said, who grew up in the hood, I was like, I can break this down in different ways and do different stuff with this. And that's kind of where I'm at now with archaeology, where I try to do like spoken word and bring things in and just make it like a little bit more entertaining, and not just about like there's this guy Binford that's known for what we call processual archaeology. So looking at things, looking at the material and being like, be objective, be highly scientific.
Yeah.
But that's boring, and that's very like a Eurocentric, like a white man way of looking at things, right? We like a little flavor. Yeah. So
what does this mean?
Right. Yeah. What does it mean and how does it pertain to us is really what I work on.
Oh, that's crazy. Like I to say that you weren't even looking for that. Like you didn't say that when I get older, this is what I'm doing.
Never.
No, and you just like, what next can I do? And then boom, that's.
I don't think any. And I'm not going to speak for the ABA or of like black anthropologists, but I would go so far as to say I don't think any of us said when I grow up I want to be an anthropologist, because I don't think we had those classes in high school.
I feel like it depends on your social economic status. It depends on where you came from.
Okay.
Because I have met people that like were like, oh, I would want to be an archaeologist since I was 8 years old, and I'm like, damn,
That's just like that with a mortician. I know there's this guy that I follow. I don't follow him. My wife follows him, and she's like, and I seen him. I looked at his page, and he's like, "Yeah, man, since I was 8, it's a family business." He was
I was gonna say, morticians are usually family.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yes, I watched my daddy prep a body," and I was like, "Wait, what? At 8 years old, you learning how to do makeup on a dead body?" And boom, he's he a clean mortician too. He dresses like a dandy, and he's not albino, but I would say he's blonde.
He's bright.
Yes, bright. Yeah, and he looked like Malcolm X a little bit. And he's a very interesting dude. And I was like, what? Very deep voice. And I was like, this fits. Like, you seem like a Lurch Adams Family type of character. And I appreciate all of it, because who out here is just like, I want to be a mortician. We need more morticians, right? Do we? I don't.
Well,
who knows?
One thing I've always said as an archaeologist, if you ever want to segue into anything, one business that always keeps going on is morgues, because people die every day. So it doesn't matter if there's a recession, it doesn't matter what's going on. People still got to die, and people going to be buried. So
for real, then out here we got mausoleums. And so it's like, if you want to be all fancy and put your a loved one above ground because you can't dig too far down out here. You can get in the mausoleum, and it's just like, yeah, all right, that's good. It's so expensive. Like, why does death have to be so expensive? It's over. Like, why we got to pay so much now? Like, I don't. But
because the death, and that's actually a whole like anthropological and archaeological study too.
No, but
the
this-
way that we bury our dead and adorn their graves and things, right? Isn't that like the ultimate flex? As a Caribbean person, you know, as a Jamaican, it is. There's people that probably never had a big house in real life, but then they pass away and they get entire houses and little mansions built on top of their grave, because we also do some of the above ground stuff.
Yeah.
So.
There's a whole like archaeological field where people study the evolution of these headstones, right? So in the beginning, when we don't have the money, you making them by hand. You carving a name in, you know, over time, weathering causes these marks to disappear. And now you have all these graves, these bodies, and family members migrate. They're no longer in the local community. And then you have, you know, here's a stone that marks where someone is their final resting place. And you're like, well, who is this person? But then you move forward into the present moment, and you see how these headstones become more and more intricate, more money, better materials. We're no longer leaving coins. Now you can leave color photos inside the headstones, and people are leaving like benches. And, yeah.
What brought you to anthropology?
What brought me to anthropology? I didn't know what anthropology was until I was a sociologist.
Honestly,
I feel like
I'm sitting between both of y'all right now, before I go Google it, I'm still trying to like context clues, nigga. You know what it is, right?
What is anthropology?
You know what it is. I think you know what it is, but you know.
No, it's fine, because that's a good. Everyone might be watching this trying to figure out the same thing. Like, man, this fool done brought on these girls. What the hell they talking about?
That's why I was like, you're not about to put me on here with her by myself, and you be like, yeah, go ahead, talk to her. I'm like, man, hold on.
So anthropology is the study of peoples and cultures or human evolution, right? And there are 4 subfields. I myself am interested in social cultural. So I talk to the living about everyday human experiences and how we interact, right? What this thing means culturally. And then Zenzi, you can explain the definition for archaeology.
There's different, like she said, different subfields. So ultimately it's kind of like if you're a doctor, right? You go to school to be a doctor, but then you might be like a podiatrist and studying people's feet. Someone else might be an oncologist. Their specialties like cancer. You know, like we have different specialties. So my specialty is archaeology. And archaeology is the study of material culture. Whereas she's doing that, like, the culture, it could be music, it could be, you know, like where we would more be looking at the drum itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How people make meaning of, I guess you could say, material culture or interactions. What's an example? Yeah, so music, storytelling, talk like what brought me to comedy and why you saw me around in all these spaces, right? So I would say cultural anthropologists are interested in the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we tell each other, the stories that we tell other people about what this world we live in means to us.
So who hires somebody for that? Like, that seems so weird. It's like, what? So where do you go to work? So like, who comes around and be like, I need an anthropologist to go ahead and figure this shit out for me because I'm not sure how people work. Like, yeah.
So that's the thing.
Social cultural anthropologists, I think, do well in marketing, promotion, like people who need their stuff or things to be framed within the context of a story, right? Because, you know, here, buy this thing, or this thing solves your problem in this way, right?
Also, behavioral analysis. So with the anthropology degree, that's something, like I said, I'm a veteran, so the VA is like, we'll pay for your master's degree, but when you decide to do this obscure ass thing, you know, we need you to explain, is there jobs? And I'm like, yes, actually the state of California is hiring anthropologists right here. They're looking for, you know, Department of Corrections, they need some studies done.
That's all.
Or
yeah.
like things like that. So I work in what's called cultural resource management. There's lots of jobs for big engineering firms all across this country, because when we have things like our President Trump just knocking down the backside of the White House, he's not actually allowed to do that. There's laws that prevent it, and it's people like me that's supposed
we
to.
about to have UFC on the lawn.
Supposed to stop that process, right?
Yeah, it's people like me that's supposed to stop that process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I work on infrastructure projects.
Yeah.
I previously worked for an engineering firm
Okay,
in their
now when
environmental
you talk about things like that,
compliance.
I'm an electrician, so
Okay.
when we talk about infrastructure and out there doing construction,
I know what that means.
I'm with it. I'm
right.
on board. So
So state laws vary. But in California, say we're doing something and we're going to build an apartment complex, right? One of the first things that they would have to do is, if they're going to break ground, they're going to put in plumbing, they're going to do these things, is the California Environmental Quality Act has a section in it that deals specifically with cultural resources, and those cultural resources would be Native American or historic artifacts. So usually we fall under the environmental compliance side of the engineering firms.
So basically, like if we're digging or something, if somebody's digging or something, we find something.
No, even before you find
it's before.
anything.
So like if
It's while you're digging, it's before. So the first thing is evaluating, basically, whether you got to pay us to say, what are the chances that I might hit some Native American or historic
You
stuff.
know what?
And I say, sir, there's a very high chance. So actually, you got to pay me to stand here and watch you
Got
dig.
you. Give me my money.
Here's how this relates to your employment, right? Occupational work in construction.
Yeah.
Before you even get to the site, let's say a zenzi showed up and said, okay, all clear. But, you waiting to make a check. You trying to get to work and do your job. Now, the zenzi's like, no, we have Native American remains. Project on hold, would work for you.
There's no work. Yeah,
Right.
I know.
So you don't work without zenzi.
That's the thing,
right.
too.
See?
So either the construction guys hate us or love us.
They do, exactly. That's why we don't call y'all. And that's
They
why I'm
don't.
like, wait, who is the people that we got to call today? Because they like, Kyle, if you digging and you find anything that looks like something, keep digging and don't say nothing. It's like,
That's
what's
the
on
thing.
Arrowhead?
Tell on 'em.
You be like, you like working, right? You be like, yeah, you like all this overtime, right? Understand if you bring that Arrowhead in, that's gonna shut this job down.
It's gonna shut it all the way down. At least, it depends on the tribe, honestly, and also the way that you're doing the consultation. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people do feel like that. Like, don't say nothing, just keep going, because that's how things get destroyed.
But also not
And when
all,
you have a good...
all remains are archaeological remains. So then is that
Right.
person like Zenzi would be able to say, like, these are Native American remains and their archaeological significance, or no, now we need to call a detective because this
These
is a
is
murder.
a human bone.
Or also, so my job is like this. These bones right now are it's a cow. You can keep digging.
Yeah.
Versus like this is a human being's arm, Yeah. Or like when you're saying, hey, there's an arrowhead, that's something. If I'm standing right here and I'm observing, I can drop a point on it. I can say like, hey, a GPS point. This is where this came from. I can write a report after I remove that out of the path of that excavator that's digging, right? And maybe if there continues to be more things, then we say, okay, hey, the soil that you've dug up, there's a certain amount of it, like maybe 5% that we want to screen to make sure that there's not other artifacts in. So then it doesn't necessarily slow you, the construction guy, down, right? But what it does do is cost money on the overhead. And that's when they start complaining.
It don't matter to us. We don't care about
Most
that.
of the time, yeah, because I've been on a lot of sites where the guys are like, "Oh, I found something. This is cool. Can you tell me about this liquor bottle I just pulled up?" I'm like, "Actually, yes, I can."
I be hoping that it be something. Be like, what date is this from? Because you know what, I can take this home. I probably can't take those though. You got to give that.
You should not.
No. Okay.
Yeah. We
never
advise
know.
against
we never
collecting
know
stuff.
because you got a whole bunch of ignorant niggas out in the dirt, and you just gonna have us digging. If we see something shining, ain't nobody about to say nothing. You're like, oh, all right, this is cool. I'm gonna just walk this off and bring this home. It's nothing like I've actually found. Like I myself haven't found anything, but I am part of like. If you go out in the woods and you see something that don't belong to you, leave it there just because you don't know what type of curses or voodoo is on this thing.
I was gonna say, as someone who works for tribes, they be serious about don't touch that stuff.
So we found, you know what, this might be a dream in the comics brain. Sometimes I say things to where I'm like, well, you told this or was this real? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure when I was at camp one day, they found a flute outside in the woods, like a flute it was a real old looking flute and it was wooden, and they found it, and it was like, oh yeah, there was a reservation that used to be right here, and from then on, shit went bad. Like things started, and I'm not a person to be superstitious, but I'm like, that's a coincidence that dumb shit is happening, and we got this thing now. Probably should get rid of it.
And that's a thing. That's a real experience that people have sometimes.
Oh.
You know, a flute, it could have been a wooden flute, could have been, we see bone flutes sometimes made from animal bone. Mm-hmm. So bringing something that you don't necessarily know, what was the purpose of this? Was this a spiritual item? Ooh. Was this something that they could have been playing war songs on that? They ready to go to battle, and y'all just out here collecting stuff. And
you got this
we just out here blowing it and everything. It's like, yo, you gonna put your mouth on that? How you even know how old it is? Did you wash it? How do you wash it? How you wash something that old? And that's you know what? They got rid of it after that, like, cause it was just crazy. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't want to actually believe into folklore of stuff like that, but when you see it happening, it's like, yo, this is,
you gotta respect it, right?
Yeah. Well, as an archaeologist, how I feel is a lot of people don't realize, because in California there's a lot of rivers, and usually where would people have lived next to if you're needing fresh water? Is a lot of times village sites are by rivers, so people will be like, oh yeah, I found this grindstone, this big bowl, and this handstone, the mortar, and I'm gonna bring it home and put it on my mantle or whatever.
Oh, no.
But the way that these things were actually made and used is that would have belonged to one woman her entire lifetime, and when she dies, it's put to sleep. Nobody else is supposed to touch it. Nobody's supposed to have that. So they put it to sleep by putting it in the river or making a hole in it. And then people come and they just start picking things up and thinking it's okay to touch stuff, and there's a spiritual connection that's coming with that. So the tribes are very adamant about even tribal members, at the end of the day, are smudging up before they go home, because that's a thing. We say we don't want to carry anything back home with us.
Yeah, I didn't expect this to go this way at all, and I love it. Just because when I sit down, I am very interested in where life can take you. Like, where have y'all been? Where have y'all been traveled to? Like, I see you everywhere. Where have you been? Like, yes, give me places. I want to know.
Well, like I said, I'm a veteran, so I already had like a little experience traveling and working with different groups. I think that's why anthropology worked so well for me, right? Because I spent 13 months with Army Special Forces deployed to Afghanistan, ISAF, so International Special Forces, so Hungarians, Estonians, Romanians, and just being outside with all these people that speak different language and eat different foods and just trying different stuff.
What is the vibe of that? What is the energy around that?
You know what? There's a lot of different energy, partially because the same thing that we experience from like white Americans within our own country is also projected on an international level, like that superiority. Yeah. So there's like a hierarchy that kind of happens too, even with the Europeans, where it's like everybody's beneath us because we're the U.S. soldiers.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that can be very frustrating, and that was often expressed to me because I was like the brown woman, and they felt like they could complain about the white man to me.
Right. Like everybody does at work. Be like, hey man, let me tell you about the boss. And be like, I sit with him every day, huh? Fuck him, no. Let me tell you. It's like, oh, okay. Well, all right. You know, everybody hates you, right? It's just like, yeah, I know. This is what it is.
But it also gives you the opportunity to build those connections and really experience like other people's culture more intimately, because people will share things with you that they might not share with everyone else. They're like, my mama sent some plum wine, or so like, okay, I'll try the Slovakian plum wine.
That sounds delicious, to be honest
Actually,
with you.
it was very nice, especially in a dry country.
I can imagine, but part of doing anthropology is being deliberate about making those connections, right? You can go one way and just write it off, right? It's a joke, right? Like you said, everybody hates you, right? But then taking the opportunity to ingratiate yourself to the community and gain access to this what kind of plum wine?
Plum wine.
Yeah, this plum wine that they would have been just fine keeping to themselves in a dry country, right? So now we're friends.
Yeah.
Anthropology is about making friends,
The connection.
building bridges.
Yeah.
Building bridges.
So how the places that you've been, where has this taken you?
So my research is I'm a gender studies scholar, so my focus is on modern Black manhood and masculinity. And now, like, I used to be excited about this. Like, yes, this is what I study.
It's not as exciting to you now anymore.
No, it's because when I say that, it means something in terms of like research in categories and understanding that manhood and masculinity looks different for different people based on experiences. But when I'm just like, yes, I study modern Black manhood and masculinity, to like Black men are like, oh, so you an expert in me, you gonna tell me about myself. I'm like, no.
Yes, that's the route you would do. That's the route any person that I would know would probably take. Like, oh, so she thinks she know a nigga then, huh? All right. So what you see? Yeah, huh? You can go ahead and read me. Is that?
Yes. So this is not too far off from conversations I've had doing field work and interviews. Like I've had to share with, well, not had to, but I've shared with people that on the method side of doing the research, where there is no uniform, like there's a uniform when you're in the military. The anthropologist or the cultural anthropologist doesn't have a uniform because the goal is to kind of walk a mile in someone else's shoes. So you go and you live with the people, you learn the cultures and their whys and their hows.
Live?
To be, yeah, I mean, some people actually choose a culture that they did not grow up in. I chose to study Black cowboys in Houston. I'm from Houston, and there are Black cowboys on the south side of Houston.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to go home and talk to people in my neighborhood that practice this culture in an urban space, and like, what does that mean for?
There was that movie. It's on Netflix, I believe. That is not a good movie. I didn't watch it.
They didn't ask the specialist for her input,
and I've been
and
doing
they should
this.
have.
I do this.
Oh snap! Yeah, I was just about to say. I'm like, did you have any part in that? And it seems like, since that's what. Yo, that's rude.
That's one of the things you're asking, right? Where do you get jobs? There are jobs in Hollywood. Disney actually hires cultural anthropologists to help them, help inform them on some of their
Accurate culture.
How do you know you have this skill? Is this a skill that you just have, or is
How do
this
you
something
sell
that well, it's just so strange. You're kind of like a people person,
right? I was gonna say, I guess you're kind of drawn, and that's what I was saying about like the military thing. Like I was always a people person, always a person that's like, okay, let me learn your language and try to learn a few words and crack jokes and eat with you, and you know what I mean. That look a little weird, but I'll try that. That weird.
I better relate to you, and
That's why I was a cheerleader for 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I was like, well, y'all don't have gymnastics here. This is how y'all flip? I guess so. Let's see what's up. I mean, I get in there, and I'm like, I don't care for these motions, but I can go ahead and tumble for everybody. And then I got real good at everything. And then I became a really good toe toucher and all that. And I was like, this is, all right. I didn't expect that. But me being, I think I'm a people person like that as well. And so people gravitate towards me. It was like, you can definitely do this. And that's all somebody needs to tell me. It was like, you can definitely do this. I'm like, well, I'm going to go full force then. And I'm going to be in there. And then 8 years later, it's like, why did you do that?
Because you had a transferable skill, and then you moved into a space where you could use that skill.
Yeah.
But then you also became an expert in that space.
Yeah.
Because the space you were looking for, gymnastics, wasn't available.
Right.
But there was a bridge, tumbling.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
once you made a home in this other space, then it became your world.
I never broke it down like that before.
Well, that's what I do.
That was a very anthropological
I can show you better than I can
explanation.
Yeah.
Right?
That was cool. Okay. All right.
That was very cultural. She could write a whole paper right now.
Yo. I hope people are like, yo, she got you. I need to know. This is what's very interesting to me, because it's like, as talking to you're always a mile a minute, and you boom, 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 and I'm like, whoa, she has so many ideas in her head. And talking to you're like, so this is what it is, straightforward, to the point, and make you clear. And it's just like, oh, the personalities from both your sides, but also y'all have the same viewpoints still. And it's like, this is like, that's why I like to open up and just talk to people, because you never know. I would have never known any of this if I don't talk to people. Like, to be able to go to like Romania and stuff like that, to be able to be in another place where you feel the vibe and energy of another person that hasn't been raised like you, that wasn't, born in what you've been born through, I just, to be able to see that, or to just be able to get the energy from you guys, I want more.
So, right, I think one of the most important things is that we're both, as like Black anthropologists, very much focused in our own communities, because historically white anthropology has been like viewing the other through like this, kind of scientific lens, and you get from a distance, right? A safe distance, a little voyeurism.
Without input, without asking.
Yeah.
I see you behaving this way and dancing in this way, and I'm gonna go over here and write about how these Black folks just jerk and jive and in this very like disgusting and sexually explicit manner, and then this is what gets published and what people believe about the community. But then you go back and you ask Black people in this community, you find out this is actually sort of maybe a ritualistic performance, and it only happens in this context, and we're invoking ancestor, and we're invoking spirits, or where there's maybe some possession, if we believe in that, right? There's a cultural logic to this. We don't just wake up in the morning, take a shot, and just start
Right.
just jerking and gyrating. Like,
It takes a minute to get to this point.
yeah. But the point is, like, you have to ask people why they do what they do and why this makes sense in like a system.
So I would assume that
Systematic
the way that a white anthropologist will go about it, and the way that a Black or a person of color anthropologist will go about things is more direct approach.
I would say there's something like, we would use a big word, ontological view, right? Which is just means worldview, right?
Worldview,
The
yes.
way that you perceive the world, and the theoretical. So I think going through school, we all learn a lot of theory, and a lot of philosophy, and it ends up being, who do you actually follow? Like, are you following like these French philosophers that are talking about decolonial theory? And if that's who you're following, then that's going to show in your practice as an anthropologist, as an archaeologist. If you do linguistics, right? You're going to be talking about linguistics from that decolonial lens. Whereas someone else, if they don't have that type of theory, or they don't agree with that theory, they're not following that. They're looking at it from that I'm on top and bottom down.
Yeah. That's the look on the I like that I've been Grey's Anatomy, that the little lookout room,
Yes, where the
just like,
surgeons are.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, exactly. Kind of like that. Whereas we're more immersed.
We're in the room.
We're in the room because
Yes.
it's our culture. Like I
Yes.
work in California archaeology, but I work with indigenous people, and I'm an Afro-Indigenous person. My family are Maroons from Jamaica. So we find very like, even though people are different and they might have been separated from a million miles, you know, my family coming from Africa and you coming from California, we have these similar like fundamental beliefs and practices that I think all indigenous people kind of carry throughout the world. So that works well for me in being able to navigate those spaces. And then within Jamaica also, like I said, I'm coming from that cultural resource management background. So there's highways being built. The Montego Bay Bypass is a highway that's currently being built, was impacting my family land. 5 acres of my land, 2.5 was taken, and it was right where our burials were. And there was like 20 other graves that they were going to dig in this community called Salt Spring. And Salt Spring is kind of like the 9th Ward, you know. Ooh. They were like, it's a garrison.
Yeah.
And it's the ghetto, and we are helping these people by bringing a highway through and plowing through their land, because Salt Spring, and this is written in the environmental impact report, Salt Spring is a neighborhood that is plagued by violence. And I was like, you know, violence and poverty is not something that I would write in an environmental impact report pertaining to Native Americans, because I would lose my job, right?
Right.
But this is where we talk about like some decolonial theory, right? Some of these people need to be reading a little Fanon, you know, and learning about how we as Black people are wearing white masks, right? All skin folk ain't always kinfolk, right? So
Facts.
So these are the things that we pull in, I think. Just it's the evaluating the cultural aspects, I think, for me, of the archaeological stuff also. So these graves that are being moved over, and like it's I guess kind of so heavy on the social sciences, right?
Yeah.
The hierarchy of power, the socioeconomic differences, who's being affected and how are they being affected. And I look at my practice of archaeology as, I could say, archaeology of resistance, archaeology as resistance, because this is something that's more community based. It's really about standing up for those who don't have the voice, who don't have the ability to fight for themselves, and who's the ones that really don't have the ability to fight for themselves, are the dead, right? So to have our ancestors disrespect in that matter, our traditional African burials being removed, and not only does it destroy the archaeological record, but it's destroying this culture that we've had in Jamaica of this, what we call the backyard burial. That was something that was really discouraged because the British did not want. They were like, we got to stop unusual gatherings of Negroes. That was a thing, because they're like, see, what happens is y'all get out there and you start pretending like you want to bury your cousin, and you're actually planning a rebellion.
Right.
They get out there, they start drumming and dancing. And as we said, these ethnographic records, that was one of the things that was written by, and they were drumming and dancing, and the sound of the drum beat makes them remember themselves, right? And that's not something that they wanted us to do. They don't want us to remember ourselves, because then we get rebellious.
They don't want us to remember ourselves, because then we get rebellious. I think it deserves a second.
Take that drum away. What?
Yeah, so keep banging on those school desks, children.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, there's so
Remember
much.
yourselves.
So what do you have to study to become
An anthropologist.
Yeah.
An archaeologist.
Yeah.
Anthropology. So my degree is a general anthropology degree. Some people do, like, there's 2 big schools in California that in Northern California where I'm at that do CRM specific, so cultural resource management. Like if you want to go to archaeology, you want to focus in that.
Yeah.
But I'm like a general anthropologist because that's what I did. So I learned the cultural, I learned the linguistics, I learned the biological, and I learned the archaeology. But in order to be like a practicing archaeologist, they want you to have a field school. So my field school was UC Berkeley. Peralta Hacienda is the seat of the last grant from Mexico.
What's a field school?
So a field school is where you go out and you learn to actually like use the methods of archaeology or the methods of the ethnographic
hands-on
methods for
type
cultural,
stuff.
yeah.
It's the applied aspects, you know.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Where you learn how to
Experience
do
is
the
best
work.
teacher.
Right. Yeah, I always tell people it's one thing to be a book electrician, but you ain't gonna be a good
Okay.
electrician unless you get into that
Shocked
field.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oof.
And that's what it's
Oh,
like.
boy.
It's like it's almost like an apprenticeship, right?
Yes.
So it's like
Oh, okay.
learning to actually do the work.
Yeah, because everybody can go ahead and talk a big game unless you put your hands on. It don't make a difference. 'Cause that usually we get people out there and that come into the field a lot. I'm the contractor. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's like, all right, cool. Come out and do it then. You say I got to do this. I got to do that. You know how long it's gonna take. You know what it's gonna take to do this. Do you even know how to do it? You can go ahead and tell me how to do it, but do you know how to do it? You want to get your hands dirty. Your
Have you
hands
done it
soft.
before?
Have you done it before? Yeah, and it's nice to go ahead and like actually, because I'm hands on with everything. I couldn't sit down behind a desk and be like, oh, okay, this is what y'all got to do. Like even now, like I'm at a status to where I have people under me, and she's like, Carl, you got to tell them you got to go do this and go do that. I'm like, but they ain't gonna do it like I wanted to do it. So you know what? I might just do it myself. I'm gonna just do it myself. Because I can do it myself, but I don't have 8 hands to be everywhere. So eventually I gotta be like, okay, point this person, and it's
You
just
gotta
so much.
train up your apprentice.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
the same thing in anthropology and archaeology. It's like academic schools of thought. You got to train up the people underneath you to be good anthropologists, and that's the same.
Now,
you got to get an apprentice and make sure he's doing it the right way.
Now, the thing is, they got people that just out here because their dad or their parents told them you need to get a job.
That's the same thing in anthropology.
that exists.
So
Nepotism.
Oh, them Nepo babies. My daddy said I gotta get a job. That's the only reason I'm out here. Okay, what you gonna do? I don't know. We can go up and you're afraid of heights though. Yeah, it's like, what are we doing then? Why are you here? Like you just slowing productivity down. And like, I don't need you. If you're not even gonna even try.
You send those people over to the corner to be laborers and just go sweep.
Ooh.
Go
Yeah.
sweep.
I don't know I don't want to get into the whole the weeds of construction and how lazy people are nowadays, but it is upsetting because
Yeah.
I don't understand. Nobody wants to do much. It's like just
You
like
gotta
you said,
work.
go sweep. Sweeping is easy. Sweeping don't take much. But if you were just a little bit uncomfortable, it's like, oh, I can't even sweep no more. It's like, what? Your wrist don't work? Why? Why you can't sweep now? Because you hot, you got a bead of sweat down your face. You wore the wrong drawers today. I feel you. This construction though. Like, prepare yourself. Like, what are we doing? I'm gonna need y'all to stop being
I
so
could say
so
that's
wanky.
facts because I think a lot of people don't necessarily know that about archaeology too. Like especially when they come to CRM archaeology, they don't know we're gonna be on a construction site in like hard hat vest, boots. You're gonna have to jump in some ditches with some construction guys.
Oh, they ain't ready.
Yeah, and they're not ready, especially in Sacramento when it's like you outside and it's 103.
Yeah.
and it's a 10-hour day. Like if you get people that are like,
flashbacks.
like,
Oh my God.
like I thought I was gonna be archaeologist and be in a lab, and it's like, well, then why did
Yeah,
you?
we
We didn't talk about this in
Right,
they
why
don't
did you
show
come to
the
CRM?
I don't understand why you don't get the glorified portions of it. You're never gonna get the glorified portions. This is what it is. They're gonna show you all of the stuff that you think you're gonna be doing, and then when you get out there, like this is what you're really gonna be doing. And it's like, oh, especially when people first start to do something, they think they're gonna be hands on with the big stuff. It's like, oh no, you just learning. You ain't about to do any of this for a couple years, to be honest with you. You're gonna be doing right. Grab that shovel, learn what this material is, go get it, and do it with a smile. That's all I can tell you right now.
Go grab that rebar.
Y'all deal with Reeb. Woo.
My husband works for Pacific Steel Group. So
my goodness. Okay, he's got a big burly man. All right, yeah. I understand that. That Steel Group don't play. Yes, man. And see, so that did, and now I see that I have more of a connection now with you guys do, because I'm like, oh man, I could have did that. This sounds like something that maybe
you know what? You would not be the first. I know some construction guys that came over to archaeology. So some archaeologists that were formerly in construction.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the time when we get on cruise and we've been there for a long time, I'll meet guys that they're really interested in it. And some of them are actually like natural archaeologists. Sometimes I'm there and they'll be like, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah,
they're seeing the stuff right away.
Surprising.
Yeah, they're like,
would you say that this is just, it's a matter of learning a different language? So like they know the process or the
it
skills,
is.
or they know what to look for. But
they
it's
start
like,
to learn what to look for.
Let me teach you the archaeologist language.
Exactly.
Right.
So they wouldn't be able to write a peer review academic paper, but as far as doing like the archaeological work, because
they know what's significant.
we call the people in the techs, right? Archaeological tech shovel bums.
Bums. Oh.
There's a whole shovel bum website if you're looking for work as a tech that you can go to.
Shout out to the shovel bums.
Yes, shout out to the shovel bums.
This has nothing to do with any of what y'all talking about, but just for names that people understand that this is what my brain be everywhere. But names that people get called. I played rugby in college. It's like, how you went from trillion to rugby? I'm weird. So I played rugby in college, and the guys that are on the ends, if anybody knows how rugby is played, there's the group, there's the scrum half, and there's the wing that's on the outside. And these people that take this ball right here and throw it out, they're called hookers. And support your local hooker. All right.
All right.
I love it. Just to throw it out there, just because shovel bums. I'm like, oh man, we got greenhorns, shovel bums. Do they know anything? Do they shovel bums new to what?
So no, you could be a lifelong shovel bum.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun.
I think it's fun for the people who like that lifestyle. Because it means you're outside, right? You're hands on. You dig ditches. You work on construction sites.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You might be like a archaeologist.
They
that
know
likes
they're
to
shovel
camp.
bums.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's not a secret.
It's not a secret. They go to the shovel bum website and looking for shovel bum jobs.
Yeah, no, all right. That was about to say, because I mean, we got green hands, and they probably got green hand websites, but no, they don't know that they,
I mean, we call people green too. You say, they're a green archaeologist. They're brand new.
We got some people that's like, I'm certified. It's like, just because you went to school, you still don't know shit. You don't know nothing still. And they people come out there and it's like, this is electrical. Understand that people can die doing this. If you go around fucking up saying that you do know something and you don't know something, and I get hurt, I'm fucking everybody up. So I understand. Don't come out here and be like, yeah, I knew this, I know that. No, because people can die. And so be competent on what you know. That's the thing. Don't come out here and be like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go start hooking stuff up. No. Do you have people that come out there with the competence and like, I know this, and then fuck something up?
Yes, we do. All the time, because it's the same thing, right? Like you get people who have this academic experience but don't have that field experience. Like you're saying, I'm a book reader. I might have been going to school and got a BA in construction management or a master's degree in construction management. But sir, you ain't never did no construction work. So why you coming and telling me how to manage this project? Right? And that can happen also where you get like a highly academic archaeologist that comes out and they think they know everything, but it's like, you got your degree in Ireland or Iceland or somewhere in Europe. Now you over here looking at these California archaeologists and telling them how to evaluate Native American artifacts that you don't know nothing about
at all. Arrogance, sir. Oh my goodness. I worked in California for a year, and their NEC, their National Electrical Code it's supposed to be worldwide, but California works with seismic strapping, and because they have earthquakes and such. And I was like, I don't know nothing about this. Like, I did electrical for quite some time, but once I got out there, I was like, yo, this is a whole new ball game here.
Yeah, and
like,
that's actually a little bit newer too, because the same thing with rebar, right? They're putting those little springs in, but that is because of earthquakes, and that's newer legislation where every new building that's being built has to have that seismic strapping, because we do have earthquakes, right? So that's just being forward thinking and trying to prevent buildings from collapsing on people. Because you got to look at back in the day, which is also a very cool thing when we do archaeology and we work with construction crews in places like San Francisco. You start digging, it's like you find a whole layer of the city that collapsed, you know, in the Great Earthquake. So, you know.
That is cool.
It's like it built right on top of it. So
We're just gonna start over.
No cleanup. We not going.
No, it's like we're gonna put in this sewer line. So we got to dig right here, and actually you're gonna find the city underneath the city.
Oh, that's
yeah.
I don't know how.
San Francisco 1.0, 2.0,
Right.
3.0.
Y'all, like that right there, just the mass of what that could be, it kind of scares me. I'm like, it's like somebody took a big old eraser and just like, all right, there you go, start over. And it's like people just built on top of that. It's like, you put the cleanup though.
Pretty much. But like that's the struggle regionally, right? Everywhere has their issues, because like I know people are always like California earthquakes. I'm like Tornado Alley, hurricane season.
That's what every time I would go someplace, I'd be like, okay, New Orleans has hurricanes, Texas tornadoes, California earthquakes, and I was like, where do I want to live? Like, because I don't want to deal with any of this. New York is too cold. And I'm like,
And New York can have tornadoes and hurricanes too.
That ice storm that they had, I'm like, yo, I need for the world to just calm down, or for somebody to come up and be like, hey, this is what's happening.
Baby, the world is turning up because global warming is
Yeah.
We need it to turn down. We need to hit pause.
Something needs to happen, but it's just going to keep ramping up, and things are more global warming, because the more power we need for AI and shit. I know whenever you did the fiber optics and all that, just to have those fiber optics, when we build a building, fiber optics needs its own room, and that room itself needs its own air conditioning, because it's gonna get hot in that room. And I'm like, yo, but we also fiber optic the world, and so I'm like, it's just gonna heat up. It's just gonna heat up. Who's cooling that off? Ain't nobody cooling it off. Now you got the other global warming, and you got. I'm like, all right, good job. Wait till we get these solar flares close. Right. Oh, solar flares are going to be a thing. And then when the internet's gone, then what is my wife going to do when she can't look at her box for a long time? And I'm like,
we got to return back to...
we have to talk to each other.
You know what? This is a whole thing. What's going to happen in the future, right?
Yes.
That was the thing that we were talking about here at AAA's, the American Anthropological Association in New Orleans.
Okay, as a collective, all y'all are talking about this. What is going to happen if we got to go back?
Well, different anthropologists talking about Afrofuturism, right? So how do we as Black people envision ourselves in the future? Ooh. And that's usually a lot different than what you see with like... the white sci-fi, the Euro-American sci-fi, right, tends to be like
we don't
metal.
exist in the future.
Yeah.
Also, we don't exist.
Steampunk.
We don't tend to be. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We don't tend to be in their future.
Black people don't tend to not be in the future.
Right? I don't see.
Not included. But I think when we tend to do things where we envision ourselves, it's like back to nature.
Y'all blowing my mind.
Right. Because what would happen if your wife, everybody ain't got no phone? We just gonna be outside doing what we supposed to do. Right.
Yeah. Back in the 90s. 95 was a great year.
Go back outside and play.
Go outside and play. When you had the axe to go outside
when the street lights come on.
Oh, you better be inside or you're going to get a whooping in front of all your friends.
But otherwise, go outside and
get outside.
Grown folks talk, right?
Yeah. Let grown folks be grown folks. Oh, my goodness.
Kids be kids, right? Yeah.
kids can't be kids no more because they think that Fortnite is outside. And it's like, yeah, well, it looks like outside, but that's pixelated. That's the wrong type of outside. Y'all need to go scrape a knee. How many kids nowadays still got that knee mark?
Listen,
You don't got no more kids that got that. See? Everybody get see?
show you why.
See? We got
Mine's here, though.
bad knees. Everybody got that little because we was outside. You got a few of them. You do.
I stayed outside. I got a Jamaican daddy. He was like, go play.
Oh, we need to go build climb trees, man. Go rollerblade. Shoot. These kids they need outside. Like my kid, that's all he does. He's outside. He signs and everything now. He's about to be 2. And it's just like, yes, we go outside. We got chickens at the house. And so as soon as I come home, he's like, Daddy, chickens? Yes, let's go get the chickens. He gets my shoes, he puts my shoes down, and he's like, up. Well, he says down, and he means up. And I pick him up, and we go get the shoes. We go get the chickens. And he waves hey to the chickens, and I don't put him down because I got one bad chicken and one chicken that's real cool and shit. But the bad chicken, she be feisty and she be pecking and shit. And I'm like, stop pecking people.
That's the thing, pecking order.
The peck. Oh,
that's where it comes from.
I've watched that because I bought one chicken and the other chicken just showed up because of the energy at my house. Animals just show up at my house. So I had a chicken that showed up. Boom. Might as well get chickens now since we got a chicken here. Bought another chicken. $15 for a chicken. I didn't know. Now I got free eggs forever. And so bought that chicken. And this chicken, she was kind of big and everything. She came over and the other chicken was sickly, had a Quasimodo eye. I nursed it back to health. It was good. Brought this other chicken in. That chicken was like, motherfucker, it's my food. And just started pecking out. I'm like, it got to a point where, like, you ever heard of chicken sneeze before?
I have not heard of chicken
Oh
sneeze.
my goodness! Yeah, it threw me off. It's because first she came out pecking order. I'm like, all right, we're going to stop that. I had to separate them. You know, I see them fighting. I separate them. And then they get in the coop. I think it's like a coop cough or something like that.
I have heard that term before.
And it's the cutest thing ever. But also, it'll startle you. Because if you don't know that chickens can sneeze, it's like, what? What was that? You know? And so, like, when it happened, and I was like, what was that? Did you just...
The chicken
and I
got
waited
a cold.
for it. Yeah, yes, exactly. The chicken had a cold, and I had to realize that that's what was happening. And I'm like, well, if this one has a cold, I can't bring it around this one because it might get this one sick. And so there was so many things that now I'm a chicken farmer.
I was gonna say, look, now you just learned a whole new thing: animal husbandry.
Yeah,
that's a whole area of studying too.
Wait.
We could do a whole study on
actually
black men raising chickens in urban environments.
Right. I mean, I already do the cow, but like already like study black masculinity among urban cow in Houston.
Black childhood.
Yeah.
Raising chickens in Nolan's.
This is blowing my mind. I don't. Oh, wow, I'm just.
Where's the question?
Wait, there is no question.
Oh, okay.
I because I'm one track minded, so it just my life. I'm like, the only way you can make money is if you do construction. You got to do this or secretary.
Skills,
and so,
right?
Yeah, and so now when you think about this, like you animal husbandry, like I'm like, all right, yeah, me being a husband to my animals, sure, being funny, but no, you being serious. Like, no, we can make money from this, and so it's like. That's what right there, that blows my mind because I'm like, what? It don't make sense to me. Like, how? But as you broke that down like that, I'm like, fuck, what am I doing with my life? You know, do I have to work so hard? I got to work hard, right?
You work hard and you make more money.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
Without the education and the debt associated with education.
Yeah, right.
So I will never tell nobody to avoid trades because especially as black people, young black men, it's okay. Something that I learned in the military is, do you want to work hard or you want to work smart? Right? And some people work smart, but then we have a lot of debt. So, you could work hard and sometimes that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, because I don't really have much debt, but I do work hella hard.
Right.
Yeah, I work hella hard. I don't care to work hella. I almost died. All right. It's just we've gotten into me. I'm sorry, you guys.
That's
I was just
fine.
supposed to.
You're important.
But this is the thing. You're important too, and people are gonna learn something.
That is true. I work with 277, 108 and 277. Basically, your houses have 108 and like bigger establishments like Walgreens and stuff would have like 277. And to electrician, that is high voltage. But to somebody that works on the lines, that's low voltage, and it's nothing. Right. So to me, if I get hit, I could get scarred or something like that. If they get hit, they die. Something blows out, they lose a limb or something like that. But I deal with small places and remodels, old schools and such. And recently, my school that I work on now, the last time it was built in 1970. So back then, they didn't think about grounding anything. So, houses and everything, things are grounded.
Right.
And nowadays, you go there, this current doesn't have a place to go to ground. So if it hits you, it's just hitting you. And current, if anybody, or electricity, if anybody doesn't know what that feels like, pretend hitting your funny bone and that little nerve that
Vibrates.
yeah. Just imagine that throughout your whole body. And if you don't if I'm sorry, not you let go. If you don't fall from it, then that's just And so, me being an electrician, I'm the guy that goes up into the ceiling and everything. I recently got hit by 277 for about 5 seconds, and I'm like, why do I work so hard? Like that's just because
It made you question your life.
Yeah.
But of all the trades, that's the reason why y'all get the big bucks, and y'all work. Even when it's raining,
yeah.
You got year-round work. That's the thing, right? The trade-off. We always say, "Oh, electrician," but that shit's dangerous.
You're getting paid for that, to take that risk.
Yeah.
Because I know a lineman that got shocked, and he was black. He turned white. He was like looking like a little Dalmatian. That electricity, boy, until you realize what it feels like, it's just something that you can imagine, something that you just imagine what that feels like. And then for people that don't understand electrical, if you get shocked, man, it's burning you from the inside. Yeah. So you got to heal from the inside out. And that's even more, it's even crazier to fathom, because it's, when you get scarred or cut or something like that, you just, boom, that's on the outer exterior of your skin. Now, when you get burnt, it's depending on what you get hit by, it is inside, and you got to let that inside meat tissue go ahead and repair itself, and then come. Oh, and now I think about it as y'all bring this up, and it's just like, if somebody would have just been around and been like, hey, this is the thing, I would have definitely
bought more chickens.
I would have definitely got into at least some type of venture, probably, or just looked into something like this, because I'm curious.
It's never too late. It could be a side passion, just reading once in a while. Pick up a little anthropological journal, see what Black people in anthropology are talking about.
And see, that's another endeavor that I do things like that when I have an ADHD mind. So if I pick one thing up, just like I crocheted last year just because I was like, well, I want to do something with my hands. And so I started crocheting. Now I know how to crochet. And I was like, why did I do this? Just because I brought it up to myself, and now I don't do it anymore. And just like,
But that's okay. That's life.
A skill.
Yeah.
So you crochet, then you go down to, I don't know, West University, Rice Village, wherever they have their farmer markets or whatever.
Yeah.
And you sell your hats and scarves and onesies and the things that you've crocheted, and now you're making money and buy another chicken. Use
yeah.
all of these things that you're picking up on. That doesn't have to be, I don't want to say wasted, but they don't have to be these skills where you're like, well, why do I know how to do this? Like,
but also,
I know how to do this. I'm making monies. Yeah.
Let's break out of capitalist systems, right? Because some things it's okay for us as Black people to enjoy doing things just for the sake of doing it, right? Let's not always be extractive with our labor, with our thoughts, with our bodies. You don't have to pick up crochet and feel like it has to be productive, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to
Right,
be
'cause
grounded.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh.
It can
because
just flow.
it can be
Okay.
something that you are doing just for the sake of Black man joy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, because whenever I start something, I'm like, I got to stick to this. And I'm like, why am I putting so much pressure on myself to do that? Like, it's so crazy. Why? Because
Capitalism and the Protestant work ethic. If you're not productive, then you beat yourself up for not having something to show for being able to do the skills that you're doing or the thing that you're doing.
We're gonna drop a name.
Joy is what is it? Radical.
Yes, rest is resistance.
Rest is resistance. Yeah.
Trisha Heresy. Gonna drop a name real quick. Check it out.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes if you want to really be like, stick it to the man, just put your feet up and relax. Take a nap. Be happy. Better yet.
That is a radical movement right there as a Black
to be Black
person.
and happy.
Whoa.
To be Black, be happy,
Yeah.
and doing nothing. I'm actually just putting my feet up.
Relax.
Yeah.
Yo. I was telling that to DC today. He was like, man, you should have set something up when you come down here. You should have got a show going. I was like, no. I used to do that when I came down here. But New Orleans has this magic about it to where it's like, if you try to force something, it ain't going to happen and it's just going to turn up dumb.
Yeah.
So I just come down here and I go with the flow of things. Like, I don't rush myself. I just keep with the pace and I let things go.
And look what happened.
I'm saying, look where it got you.
Exactly. And I'm like, see, no, you try to put me in that space again, DC, and I won't be there. No, I've done this. I've learned from myself. 40 years old, man. You got to go ahead and tell yourself sometimes, hey, these are life lessons that you should have jotted down. Now, they're going to keep repeating themselves, and they're going to be recurring. Just understand that when it comes back, you know what to do. You know what to do. Go ahead. You got it. And then, boom, I tap myself on the ass, and I'm like, go be a good man. And I try.
Black man.
Yeah, go be a good Black. You got it. Go ahead, Kyle. Like, all right. I'm walking my chest up and everything. Yeah, and so, learning those lessons, being able to just don't stress yourself about shit that you can't handle,
No, for reals. Because we do carry that unequal weight of the world, right? As Black people, but especially if we're the first generation, you might be the first one to be in a good position, electrician, right? Or you're trying to let these young men know that you see around you in your community, you got to actually come in here and do some work. Right. Because we're very much focused on helping each other and building each other up. And I think there's always the most important thing you can do is always find something that is your place of relaxation, right? Because in order to do the work and in order to be the Kyle that's a good Black man, you got to pour into yourself. You can't keep pouring out. And I love, like I said, that's a whole book, Rest is Resistance.
Yeah.
And it was something where I was like, this resonates with me. Yes, because this is radical. Actually, what am I doing today? Nothing. And how am I fighting the system? By chilling.
No, but when you think about it, though, we're always expected to be doing something. Whenever you get a phone call or you move into a room or you go to a comedy club or you do a show, you're calling somebody to set up one of these. The expectation is oh, what else do you have going on? Because this can't be the only thing.
Yeah.
But also every waking moment of your day has to be filled with being productive and having something to show for it. And no one's asking well, how are you? How are you really? Where are you getting this energy to continue to do the work? Rest is part of the work.
And where does that ideology that you have to be productive and keep going?
Yeah,
it comes from, you said, it comes from white capitalism, Protestant work ethic, the WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, right? Because Protestants felt like Catholics are lazy. They taking too much time doing all this extra worshiping God, and what God really wants you to do is work hard and suffer and build and work
like
some
that.
more hard, so
He
then you
rested
can go
on
to
the
heaven.
7th. I was like, I don't understand. He got a rest day. Why can't I take a rest day? Like,
Exactly.
why are we not resting? You know, it's so crazy too, because as you say that, how we're the brainwashing as you getting older, like the things that we've always seen on TV, like especially when it comes to childbirth and parenting. When I had my kid, me and my wife, we went to hypnobirthing classes, and so that was, we had a doula and all that. This is my first time being aware of anything like. I mean, I understood what doulas and stuff were, but I didn't know the route that we were about to take. I always assume when it comes to children and childbirth that everything has to deal with the hospital. You need the doctors, you need these lab coats, these white men in these scrubs and cold rooms and steel tables, and I'm like, okay, this is what, since I was little, this is what it has to be. You got to get the epidural, got to shoot them in the back and all that. And as I get older, I'm like, but before there were doctors, what were they doing? And it's like, how were people giving birth before all the epidurals and everything? And then as I go through these hypnobirthing classes, as I learn more and more about a woman's body and the things that it should be capable of doing. And I'm like, oh, so why do we have to be in these hospitals?
So you're actually a medical anthropologist now.
I told him earlier he was an ethnographer.
You see,
right?
the thing
Because those
is,
are the questions that medical anthropogists identify and
I
seek
have
out.
those questions just because I had my child in the kitchen. I had a home birth.
That's right.
Yeah, I caught my baby right there in the kitchen. I was like, yo, it blew my mind just because I'm like, when you see the magic and you see a magic trick your whole life, and it's like, man, that's a cool magic trick. Every time I see this, a cool magic trick. And then you see how the magic trick is done, and it's like, motherfucker, that we could have been doing that the whole time. Like, I could have been doing this. Yeah. Oh, what? Why am I doing this other way then? This seems so much more painful. And like, now, son is amazing. He climbs trees, he climbs ladders. He ain't even 2 yet. He signs all types of words. Sometimes I don't even know certain of these words that he be signing. But also Miss Rachel and the other Rachel is amazing. But still, I'm like, yo, I have a very much so healthy baby, and I didn't need a doctor or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I hate what the world has done to us. It's just
well,
like
capitalism has done to us, right? If you can attach a price tag to it, then all of these other natural ways that we were doing before I was the white man, like you're gonna keep that information from us. I mean, it's good you went that route. So now you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I now if there's another, it's like I don't ever see myself like, how would I revert back, from that. Like my first child, he was a home birth. Like the next child, I could not be like, hey, we're going to the hospital. No, what are we doing?
Which would probably like increase when we start talking about like mortality rates.
Yes.
For mothers, especially women of color, black women and women of color.
Which made the whole situation very nervous. And until you see something done, you don't know. And so the whole time when I was like, hypnobirthing, you just gonna do this at the house with not an epidural? Hold on. I don't know how you gonna be all right. I'm gonna be here for you. And so, but until you understand what happens, it's like, oh, I didn't, oh, damn, why do they always make this sound so bad then? Like, because
you make a lot of money at the hospital when you come in.
You need to make your money, and how are we gonna make this money if y'all ain't coming to us to get
it's not about your health. It's about the check.
Bring
the bill actually,
which is why there's such a high postpartum mortality rate, right? Because
keep you
it's about the
longer.
money and pushing you out the door, and you need the mother woman that comes through and knows how to be the doula, the midwife that knows, hey, actually you bleeding a little heavy and we're gonna take these herbs to help slow that down, you know.
Or the body's supposed to be in this position, not
Yes.
on the back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
For this natural push.
Yes.
Gravity.
Great. I was
Yeah.
like,
Gravity work
yo.
with
So
your
you
body.
put a woman in an unnatural position, then yeah, you're going to increase the chances of something negative happening, or
That is, yeah. You guys.
So we don't need you to know this information. We need you pull up
This has
and
been a.
illuminating.
Oh, what has it? All of this has been like
Okay.
I didn't expect it. Like, you see how this happens, how it just works,
Just naturally.
Uh-huh.
That's what happens sometimes. Like how you were just asking about how we even came to anthropology. It's just like the natural evolution, I say.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about the magic of Nolan's, it's spirit, right?
Yeah.
So I feel very much called to the work I do by spirit, by ancestor, and I don't think
that's
it's
helpful.
coincidence, right? So nothing happens on accident. This was meant to happen. Here we are.
Yeah. See? I like that. That's very. See, that's one of the reasons why I continue to do this. And every day, every podcast I have, there's always something that reminds me of why. Oh, look, this is why you keep doing this, nigga. Don't. So for statements like that, it's like, oh, good. Because sometimes I get here and I'm like, why do I do this? What is this for? And who is this helping? And then once it gets around and it's like, oh, okay, no, you definitely got something. So just keep going, you know? I'm like, oh, okay, good.
You get affirmed every time.
Yeah, every time. And it feels amazing. You know, this is good. But before we do get out of here, you have this.
I do. So Jamaica just had what I've been trying to explain to our friends here in the United States is like the best comparison. I think is Katrina. Honestly, Western Jamaica is facing Katrina level devastation right now. We had a Category 5 direct impact to the islands, and in neighborhoods like my own, St. James, which is we have parishes in Jamaica, like NOLA, right? So St. James Parish was heavily impacted. St. Elizabeth was heavily impacted. But in my neighborhood, like the roads were completely washed away. And it was about 4 days before food or water the government could even get in to bring anything. So I actually had cousins in Florida. So we were able to start fundraising and to get money to buy things. I'm in California, so buying them on Amazon, having them sent to my cousin. She got in before the government got into our neighborhood.
Crazy.
Right. So that's what this is. I have a little fundraiser on my Instagram page. It's AnthroGal, and it is in my bio if anyone would like to donate, because there are women and children in need. Like I said, NOLA level devastation. So it's not like, 3 weeks after a hurricane, everybody's good. People still need the basics. Houses have completely washed away. People need, clean draws. I got a cousin that was like, oh, your sister's coming down, cuz can you send me some panty? I'm like, girl, I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad I get to. It should be in the shot. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I'm glad that I get to bring all this together, because you never know where this where this will take you, and to be able to get this word out I'm glad I'm able to provide for that.
Thank you. Yeah, give thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Even though, well, it's always doesn't matter. This is good. I was just saying, because I was about to tell about, oh, well, I do it like this and then I do it, and that doesn't matter. I don't need to say any of that shit. But this is just to be able to talk to people. I tell everybody, because when people come to me like, man, what are we gonna talk about? Or do you have a topic? And I'm like, most of the times I don't have anything. And so usually if if I'm interested in whatever that person's doing, it'll organically work itself out. Just like now, we've been on here for like an hour, 20 minutes now. And it's just like the conversation has not stopped. It's also been everywhere. And it's been informative too. And I never thought, me being the silly person that I am, that I would have anything informative on what I'm doing. But
Wow.
yeah. Oh yeah. This is.
You are doing great though. Like, I love the body of work that I've seen you develop in the years that I've known you as a comedian and then as a poet, which first I think I met you as a comedian. Then as a poet, and now you're doing the podcasting or vlogging. I don't know these terms. But like, even watching
multimedia work.
Right, multimedia work, and as you're growing, like, you stick with it, and so like there's overlap, and then it's like a sort of a winding road. I just keep coming back. I'm like,
Oh, another
he's
Afrofuturism
growing.
word that we learned this weekend. What was it? Multimodality.
Multimodality, yeah.
Look at you. You got to start
Wait,
putting.
I'm doing that?
Yeah,
I'm doing
you start
multimodality?
doing like
Oh,
hashtags
shit.
on your stuff, like hashtag.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I'm
Oh.
old. Are the kids still doing hashtags?
I think they
No,
are.
actually,
They
they,
are?
I was like,
are,
that's-
but they
Okay.
don't work the way that they used
No,
to. So
I've
it's
seen
kind
people
of
put them all the way at the
it's-
bottom of shit. And I'm like, I don't know how this is supposed to go.
At this
but
point, hashtags are just good for like archiving your own
Own
work.
material.
And so
Yes.
you click the hashtag
Yes.
And you can find it.
but it does nothing for your algorithm.
yeah,
just for you to
these algorithms
locate.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oof.
But we, as archaeologists, I appreciate an archive. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah, so-
maybe we will continue to hashtag.
No,
Build the
we should.
archives,
We
the
should.
digital archives.
Instagram as a digital public
Yeah.
archive.
Oh, dope.
Because 100 years in the future when
Yeah. There's not
people
too
are
many
looking back
Black
like what's
Menaces out
going
there.
on, hashtag Black Lives Matter, what's showing up, scroll all the way to the bottom, then you get that moment, the moment after, how are people using hashtag Black Lives Matter in what year is this, 2025, right? And then so
Look.
you see, so then you get to educate yourself not through like formal institution, but you can educate
Yeah.
yourself through the power of hashtags through time and how that has changed. And so it's like a timeline, but you'd have to go
Timestamps.
back and reverse. Yeah, timestamps. Yeah. It's a public
We're
archive.
gonna have
and we're
this
all
man.
contrib-
He's like podcast episode number 45.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, this is good. You
So
can-
yes, and then now be more like intentional with how you was it curate, timestamp the podcast.
Yeah, I
So
do.
then
I
it
talk
can
about
live
that as well.
forever.
Yeah, I talk. Well, I definitely I talk about time stamping just for certain, because certain things. Poetry is how I've related that, because as I was talking to this older poet, his name is Black Snow, and he's like in his 60s. He's been doing poetry for like 25 years, and so I'm like, yo, the things that you write and what you write about, your poetry is time stamped, just because you're writing from the feelings of what you were going through at that time. And at that time, because you're in your 60s, and you went through some shit to where it's just like, yo, okay. These are genuine feelings. These are just like, these aren't research feelings. These are felt feelings that you've been through. Like, that's amazing. Yeah.
Poetry is autoethnography.
Yes.
I love that.
These words. I was so mesmerized about how this all came together just now. And I'm like, oh, we winning? We winning. We won today. We won today. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I usually don't worry about that.
No,
'cause-
listen, when you bet on black, you're going to always win.
Yeah, I usually play
Hey.
the black checkers whenever I play Chinese checkers, black marbles. Boom, I'm jumping everybody. But yeah, let everybody know where you can be found at. Myeshia.
Oh, gosh. You can find me on Instagram at myeshia Chanel or at Dr. Babers. Yeah.
Dr. Babers, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes. PhD.
Oh, okay. All right. .com or just Dr. Babers?
No, Instagram at, no.
Oh.
Well, I do. You can find me at drbabers.com or on Instagram at
Oh.
Dr. Babers. Yeah.
Okay. Did you give your Instagram information?
I did. It's
Okay.
It's Anthro-Galzan.
Oh, you did? Okay, because I was like, is that just part of this, or is that your whole...
No, that's the
That's everything. You
platform.
put everything
I'm
in
on
one?
Threads. I'm on
Okay, good.
platforms too. So
Oh, hell yeah.
interacting.
Yes. And eventually, I'm gonna get with this social media thing. YouTube has been giving me so much love, and it's just like, thank you, YouTube.
No, that's amazing.
And that's a platform too. I think more of us in academia, especially in Black academia, are looking at things like YouTube because look, this is going to be a very educational episode, right?
Yes, it is.
But it's also equitable, right?
Yeah.
So it's the ability to learn something, for you, by you, and right, FUBU. Right, that's why we was rocking with the FUBU.
Come on.
But
yes.
So,
Yeah. And also, I feel as if I give a lighthearted type of palate cleanser when it comes to people learning something. It's like, I learned something, but also, bitch, you stupid. Yeah, you made me laughing. But also, bitch, I'm gonna be an anthropologist now. And it's like, oh, good. I'm glad, because I don't even. There's nobody that I could say that they even brought up anything about anthropology to me ever. Archaeology, I remember playing a Magic School Bus game on the computer, and that's the only time I thought about archaeologists, and just because studying bones and I like Jurassic Park. But other than that,
I'm gonna hit you on the pause. That's actually paleontology.
Paleontologist, that's what
but
it is.
But it's okay.
Good. Because I'm like, why
humans
is this
going to be archaeology. Dinosaurs, paleontology.
Yes, archaeologist. Indiana fucking Jones
is not an archaeologist. I was waiting for it.
He's an archaeologist. He's just a terrible grave robber type. He's a white archaeologist.
Ah, right. So Laura Croft and
is another white archaeologist.
See, and I'm like, Nathan Drake, and I'm like, you guys, all right. And so that's when I'm like, when I brought up a paleontologist in Jurassic Park, which is not archaeology, but you still don't see no black folks on that movie.
You do not.
Correct.
Besides when George Clooney had that daughter and she did gymnastics. I didn't know how that. I was like, y'all just trying to put black in here? But whatever. Other than that, I was like, you don't.
They
like,
say we know you Negroes are athletic, so.
Yeah. She escaped the raptor by doing gymnastics. I was like, no way. You ain't doing that. All right, sure. That's very athletic of you, though. What the hell? It's like, also, George Clooney, where is her mama? Like, why you watching her? Like, we understood what happened in the last movie. Why you get to watch her this time? It didn't make no sense to me. But we all love George Clooney. And so, yeah.
He got black kids in real life, don't he?
Maybe adopted, right? He adopted.
I don't know.
Don't they do that?
The celebrities do that.
They do. Look, I'll give back to the culture. That does not help, I see what you're doing. But yes, this has been great. I can't wait till this comes out. Hopefully everything went over correctly. Because I'll be me and my own producer. If y'all just see me stare off and stuff, it's just I have to make sure that I've had one episode that I've done and it didn't air because I didn't press record, and that's not what you want,
Okay. No,
we're good.
Okay.
We're good. That's why I always check. But until next time, man, this has been Tell Me a Joke, the Call Out and Chasing the Dream. I have been your host of Maniacal, Menace, Kyle Smith. Said the whole thing like a pimp that ain't slick back. Keep dreaming, jokers. Boom.